Gentlemen, thanks, and welcome to the Infinity College Basketball Tip-Off from the WVU Coliseum in Morgantown, West Virginia. Big 12 battle as the Kansas State Wildcats visit the West Virginia Mountaineers. So glad you could join us here inside the Coliseum just as the lights go down, along with 1985 national champ from Villanova, Mark Plansky. I'm Mark Neely. Ski, these teams played January 11th in Manhattan. 4-point win for the Wildcats, and what arguably was the poorest performance of the year for Huggins Mountaineers.
Oh, without question. Kansas State did to press Virginia what Bob Huggins does to everybody else. West Virginia had 23 turnovers, a season high. And more impressively, Mark, Kansas State outscored them in the points off of turnovers, which doesn't happen very often.
So the rematch today here in Morgantown. These teams do have some similarities in the fact that they know what it's like to lose close games, and also the fact that when you play in the Big 12, you have an opportunity to play top 10 teams, and they've taken advantage.
Well, probably the best conference in America. Everybody is ranked here, it seems. But these two teams are similar because no one averages more than 12 points a game. K-State has 5 guys averaging double figures, and of course West Virginia plays 10 guys deep. But both these teams win defense first, Mark Neely. Offense created by defense.
West Virginia trying to protect their home floor. They lost 2 of their last 3 home games, though, in conference play. To vote in the Infinity Coaches Charity Challenge, log on to ESPN.com/Infinity. You have been watching the Infinity Tip-Off. Up next, coaches compete for a charity of their choice in the Infinity Coaches Charity Challenge. Crazy upset Saturday last Saturday. Well, we have another one this weekend as we welcome you again to ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's from the WVU Coliseum in Morgantown. K-State taking on 13th ranked West Virginia. The bad news for K-State, DJ Johnson strained his left ankle in the game against Kansas on Monday night. He will not start. That ends a streak of 35 straight starts. The last time he didn't start was at Kansas, February 3rd. Of 2016. We'll see if he plays at all for K-State today. So making his first career start for Kansas State, Xavier Sneed. They move Dean Wade to the 5 spot, Owandu to the 4, and it's K-State with the first possession.
You know, that's not only a big loss because he had 14 and 8 in Manhattan, but he's the heart and soul for this Kansas State team.
And Wes Owandu with a 3 right out of the chute for Kansas State. As you see, this is the first game this season that head coach Bruce Weber has had to make a change in his starting lineup. He had the same 5 starters for the first 24 games of the season leading into today.
And Kansas State opens up with a 2-3 zone. Another change because of DJ Johnson. Usually they're a man-to-man team.
Make it miss the 6-footer and a rebound for Owandu.
Great start for Wesley Owandu, the senior do-it-all wingman, knocking down the first 3, but Coach Bruce Weber loves when he gets on the glass early, as he just did.
Brown, the floater, a little bit short, rebounded by Javon Carter. There's Tariq Phillip getting his starts for Daxter Miles, who has a bad ankle but should play today. Carter driving off the right side, and a Wade rebound, outlet in the run out. Kamau Stokes trying the lob to Sneed but cannot connect. Here comes Phillip. He gets in the lane. Short with the shot. His own miss. No third opportunity. Picked up by Brown. Looking for Stokes. 2-on-1. Back to Stokes, and he's fouled from behind by Phillip. And you chatted with head coach Bob Huggins prior to the game about his team's performance in Manhattan back in January. And he said, hey, we just can't turn the ball over as much as we did there.
You know, when you get into February, Mark, it's all about playing hard, making shots, and get a few calls from the guys wearing the Foot Locker jerseys. Playing hard is not what West Virginia did in Manhattan. Coach Huggins promised me they were going to play hard today, but quick substitution with Lamont West coming in. So obviously not happy with the effort of Issa Ahmad in the first minute and a half.
By the way, they gave the West Virginia foul to Carter, not Phillip, who came from the backside. So a quick foul on Javon Carter. Free throw off the back rim and missed by Barry Brown. So an early 4-0 lead for the Wildcats a minute and a half in.
Kansas State going man-to-man on the miss. They need to box out and rebound today. Without DJ Johnson, who takes up so much space in the paint, that will be a #1 key this afternoon.
Foul away from the ball going against the Wildcats. And Bruce Weber, in the practice yesterday here, DJ Johnson really didn't participate at all, didn't do a whole lot prior to the game today, and he has to play without his horse. DJ Johnson, and West just into the game, lays it in for the first bucket for the Mountaineers. And with the freshman Snead in the game, miscommunication on the baseline out of bounds play. You cannot have that against West Virginia. Owundu quickly into the corner, an open look, and a three is short from Stokes. Here comes West into the front court, very gingerly. Like all freshmen, you have to know your role, Mark, and handling it in the transition is apparently not his role. Offensive foul against Elijah Bacon, who used an elbow and kind of cleared out some space, and he picks up the offensive foul. You know, interesting, back in Manhattan the first game, foul trouble was huge for West Virginia, and that's a good call. You cannot swipe away at the foul, but the whole front line, they had 2 guys for West Virginia foul out, and I believe Adrian and Macon at least had 4. So, you know, that is something to be aware of. In the first meeting, January 11th in Manhattan, West Virginia got out to a big lead, up 12 in the first half, but Kansas State finished the first half with a 10-0 run and went on to the 4-point win. Owundu looking for Wade, who was open for a moment, but it's out for a 3, around and out for Snead, tipped by Wade, and Wade able to pick up the rebound between 3 defenders, and a 3 is short from Brown. No chance for Wade to steal a board that time. Good call, partner. They found Wade a little late, but what a great inside out pass. And after making their first 3, the Cats have missed the next 3 from behind the arc. Here's the drive. Phillip in a crowd. Owundu running out. Now it's just taken away on the move by Stokes. Here's a 3. Good. Splashdown for the freshman Xavier Snead. That's huge. First career start. Comes out and knocks down a 3. That gets you into the rhythm. You're sweating, but you can't speak. You've got cotton mouth. Your first career start in Morgantown as a freshman. Are you kidding me? That's going to make him sit and relax. K-State's already hit a couple of 3s. The other one coming from Owundu. A 5-point lead. And Kansas State gets up on the ball. That's the key to how they create turnovers in the half-court defense. Phillip, 2 on the shot clock. Scoop, tip. Another opportunity from in close, and it's finished by Brandon Watkins. Well, you can watch for the Mountaineers to pound the offensive glass with this size advantage without DJ Johnson. But it was a smart move by Owundu, not fouling. He needs to preserve both he and Wade. Cannot get in foul trouble. Well, Ski will see how many of those little bunnies on rebounds West Virginia is able to get without DJ Johnson in the lineup for K-State. 3-point lead for the Wildcats.
ESPN's exclusive present.
7-4 Kansas State, just over 4 minutes gone from Morgantown. The Kansas State team with an opportunity to make a big statement on the road and help their tournament resume as they are facing a top 15 opponent, Ski, for the 7th time this season. That's Big 12 basketball. It's a great time of year. It's when, okay, you know what? Everyone knows everybody, Mark, so now let's just light at the end of the tunnel. What do we need to do to get to the dance? Let me tell you, if Kansas State can win and sweep West Virginia, that is going to be hard not to get into the big tournament. Especially as you see DJ Johnson there in the back of the huddle. He's got the white long t-shirt on. He certainly, Ski, doesn't have the appearance right now of somebody who may play today. And if he does not play, that would end a string of 51 consecutive games he's played. And the last one he didn't play in, November 29th of 2015 against South Carolina State. Well, the numbers are not Cal Ripken-like, but he is the warrior. Remember, Cal used to play with all types of injuries. That is exactly how DJ Johnson plays. So a surprise to everybody that he did not start and may not play after spraining his ankle Monday night. K-State's got to be aware of the shot clock, and with 5 on the shot clock, a foul right on the sideline. Well, you can use any cliche you want about toughness, but they apply to DJ Johnson, and just for the fact that he's not playing must speak to the pain he's feeling in that left ankle. Well, and he gets a lot of touches in the paint that he will not shoot. That's why he's leading the conference at 62%. When he shoots, it's a good shot. When he doesn't shoot, it's a good pass. Into the corner, Brown. Here's Wade, gets Adrian in the air. That was, I'm not sure how it wasn't a foul on Watkins, but K-State fortunate to have Snead in the right place to put it in.
Bruce Weber also incredulous on the sideline, but that's what Dean Wade did twice against Kansas. He loves to operate in the paint.
And now Adrian with a chance for a three-point play for West Virginia. That's on Snead.
That's the mismatch. Without D.J. Johnson, usually Dean Wade covers the senior Nathan Adrian. So now look at him. He just takes Xavier Snead down low and easily posts him up. Bigger, stronger body, and he goes to the foul line. He's going to look to convert a three-point play, and then this guy will be right on the ball at the point of West Virginia.
In and out. Well, it's interesting to hear Bob Huggins talk about free throws. West Virginia looking to try to press off the missed free throw.
That was almost backcourt. Very nonchalant catch by Dean Wade.
Got a West Virginia team shooting 67% from the line this year. Here's Wade into the lane with the left hand, lost the handle on it. Pretty good defense by Issa Ahmad.
I think he had the jump shot. I mean, why go into the size and the strength of the front court? Get your feet set and knock down the three. Dean Wade is shooting 40+% from behind the arc in conference play.
Tavon Myers in the game for West Virginia. Haven't seen Daxter Miles as of yet. He did not make the trip to Oklahoma on Wednesday. Ahmad, offensive against West Virginia.
So you know what happens when you have strength and size mismatches? You get all excited. That time Issa Ahmad couldn't wait to post up his smaller defender, but you have to move the ball and repost and take advantage of your size. Don't just try to bully the little guy. Be smart about it.
14 foul against the Mountaineers. They're going to pressure on the inbounds from Owandu. Corby Irvin is checked in for K-State. He's defended up the floor by Myers. Now Adrian looks to trap, but it's into the front court to Stokes. Quick pass. Wade lost the handle, but right there was Maurice. Isaiah Maurice, a 6'10 redshirt freshman. Interesting to see how many minutes he'll get without D.J. Johnson.
Second time it's better to be lucky than good. Kansas State getting the fortuitous bounce. But you're right, Maurice is a great athlete.
From the corner, Carter offline with the three. Owandu wants to bring it up this time. Screen sent by Wade, frees him into the backcourt. Now driving into the lane. Tough shot. Got it. And one for Wesley Owandu.
In all the games that West Virginia has lost, it's been because of guys like senior wingman Wesley Owandu who can handle the ball. You don't have to have your point guard break the press when you have somebody like Owandu who is very confident with the ball and loves to take it to the rim. He'd much prefer take it in traffic and convert than stop and knock down a jump shot.
Owandu went crashing into the cameras below the basket. Took a little while to dig himself out of there. Owandu, by the way, had a double-double against Kansas on Monday. 13 points, 11 rebounds. Second double-double of the season.
And here's a guy that reconstructed his technique as a shooter, which is impossible to do for a college athlete. A couple of summers ago, he just realized his elbow was flying, his technique was way off, so he spent a lot of hours in the gym, and the results speak for themselves.
6 early points for Owandu today, lead up to 8 for K-State. A three is put up and short from West. Maurice with the rebound. It's a 5-0 run here for K-State in their largest lead.
Bruce Weber would love to see those type of shots, Mark, all afternoon. West Virginia has to pound it down low.
We got Sags Kanate on the floor for West Virginia now. Almost lost by Butke, who's in the game. Austin Butke getting some time. Shot clock is at 3, and offensive foul before that 3 from the corner from Irvin. Well, two of the hottest teams in college basketball square off with first place in the American up for grabs Sunday at 4 Eastern on ESPN. It's number 11 Cincinnati. They won 15 in a row. Number 25 SMU. They've won 7 straight, 17 of their last 18. It's a journey to the tourney matchup. Rivalry week, say that fast. Presented by Wendy's. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
I don't want to say that slow.
7 minutes have gone by. 8-point lead for K-State.
K-State back to that zone. I mean, trying to protect the little guys up front, switching everything out front. Matchup.
Myers saw an opening and lays it in high off the glass.
I love Tavon Myers, the senior from Brooklyn. He has the most magnetic personality on this team. He always gives hugs 110%.
Irvin finds the pass. The reverse missed, though, by Maurice. And another pretty good look down low from Kansas State. West gives it back to Carter. Ahmad traveled. You know, Issa Ahmad, you look at the numbers for Issa Ahmad. He comes to play against the highly ranked teams. Has done well against Kansas, against Baylor. When he's playing against the unranked teams, Ski, that's kind of the question. The numbers haven't been as good.
Career high 27 points here against Kansas in a great victory, but 0 points last weekend in their loss here against Oklahoma State. I mean, Coach Huggins just demands that you play hard every game, not the games that are on ESPN and under the bright lights.
Well, Dean Wade showing his versatility, bring it up the floor. Now uses a screen for Stokes. Stokes a three from the left side. Off the front rim, long rebound collected first by Tavon Myers.
Kansas State getting some really good looks. They need to knock them down.
Bolden in the game. And what a spark Beetle Bolden was at Oklahoma a few nights ago. In just 10 minutes, he had a career-high 17 points, 15 of those in the first half in Norman. And a 5-second call as Irvin unable to get it in. That gets the crowd into it in Morgantown. Well, coming up, we'll take you through the first edition of Mark Plansky's Spelling Bee. How does Mark spell press? Come back to Morgantown and find out. Three-point lead for Kansas State. Well, we promised you that Mark Plansky would show off his spelling skills. Ski, how do you spell press?
Oh, no. Here we go. I'll give it a shot. P, pressure. Relentless. They keep attacking the ball and love to push you backwards. Just getting the ball in bounds is the hardest part, as we just saw with the 5-second call. R, repetitive. They come at you for the entire 40 minutes. I mean, they press after makes, misses, foul shots, dead balls all game long. E, energetic, none more than the coach. But they have 10 guys that keep coming at you, which creates a high energy for this press and maximum effort by the players. S for stressful. Look, I hate the cover. I hate to have the ball against a press like this. They make everyone with the ball feel uncomfortable. And S for successful. What they do best in the country is they turn these turnovers into points. And when the runs happen, Mark Neely, it's because of the P-R-E-S-S.
Well, the 3 games that they've lost the turnover battle, they've lost the game, including the one in Manhattan on January 11th, where they gave up a season-high 23.
Ooh, I'm sweating. I didn't know there was going to be a test today.
Next up is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'll let you spell. Xavier Sneed just picked up a foul for K-State. That's his second. So without DJ Johnson, obviously, you're going to have to watch the fouls for K-State. They're a little thinner in that rotation.
Do I get a lifeline for that second one? Because I think I might need to
call my
daughter at home.
Ahmad just throws it away, and he got a look from Beetle Bolden like, where was that going? And that's the 6th. Now West Virginia with their 4th turnover of the game. And right now, they're not winning the turnover battle as a result of that.
And there goes Ahmad back on the bench. But, you know, that's not all his fault. Beetle Bolden has not played a lot of minutes with this unit. So sometimes, Mark, you zig when you should be zagging. And it's not as cohesive as a 5-man unit that it has been earlier in the season.
Butke getting some time. That shows you about the K-State rotation. That's floated up and missed by Barry Brown.
Is it me or is it Kansas State be up by 8 or 10? They're getting great looks. They're just not converting.
And only up 3, and they had the mismatch with Stokes on make it, and Stokes picks up the foul. And those mismatches down low could be an issue, obviously, without DJ Johnson for K-State.
Well, obviously, Coach Huggins didn't prepare for no DJ Johnson, so they're kind of learning on the way here right now, and they will figure it out that the mismatches that presented, they will identify it and look to take advantage.
Here's the steal of Wondu, stripped from behind, but it Pops into the hands of Butke. Kansas State's gone almost 3 minutes without scoring. Spin back to the lane. Wondu wanting to go up for the dunk. He can't miss the short shot.
Great job by making in the restricted arc, straight up in the air, hands up, principle of verticality, not coming down and fouling. Made it really hard for Wondu.
Here's Phillip underneath, but a travel committed by Macon. He got a little push from behind, and I think that's his argument, that he was fouled on a push, and now that's what we get.
Yeah, a little left hand low on Butke. He was trying to go up to block the shot. That's the trick I used to use all the time, Mark. Why have a big vertical when you can propel yourself up on the defender? Good call by the referee.
And another foul even before the inbounds. That's on Butke. So the 7th team foul. Butke did not play in the game against Kansas on Monday. He played 2 minutes at Baylor last Saturday, but hasn't seen much time in conference play.
Only averaging 5.5 minutes a game. You know, we talk about it all the time. You can't replicate the speed of playing against West Virginia, but another thing that you cannot replicate in practice is the aggressiveness and the physical nature that playing 11 guys with healthy legs creates. So Butke thought he was okay by pushing, but he just got beat to the ball by Adrian.
Adrian misses the front end of the 1-and-1, so West Virginia 0 for 2 from the line. And even Coach Huggins says, hey, if we can hit our first free throws, it becomes contagious. Well, when you miss your first couple, it can become contagious the opposite way. There's Butke, fouled, I believe, on the floor by Brandon Watkins.
I love the effort, senior Austin Butke. You know, this guy has just got a high, probably the highest basketball IQ according to Bruce Weber. He's a chemical engineer. You know, he's smart, but he gets 110% out of every minute he's in there. So this afternoon is his time to shine.
Butke's taken a total of 12 shots this year and hit 5. There's a 3 from the corner off the back rim from Irvin. Bolden on the run out, looking at West. He's going to pull up from the free throw line and drain it.
This is the second coming of the microwave in the Big 12 Conference. Probably, not probably, definitely the best shooter on either team this afternoon.
5 points off the bench for James Beetle Bolden, who again had 17 points in just 10 minutes in Norman on Wednesday night. And a 7-0 run here for West Virginia. They trap Wondu.
Kansas State did a great job in the first matchup not bringing high ball screens because they look to trap every high ball screen.
Going to have to put it up quickly. Butke missed it from the corner. Wondu, no. Well, Kansas State has had a lot of chances down low to extend the lead and just have not converted.
A lot of great chances. Solid looks, just not knocking them down.
Adrian off the left side, but an offensive rebound by Lamont West. Quick pass, Phillip, but a push. It's going to send Watkins, or actually Kanate, I believe, to the line. How about Beetle Bolden? Sparking it off the bench for West Virginia.
That's the absolute perfect fundamental play. He pushed the ball as fast as he could. Look at this. Everyone is retreating, but no one stopped the ball, Mark Neely. So if I have confidence in my shooting ability, I'm going to pull up right from the foul line. That's the easiest shot in basketball.
Sagaba Kanate, freshman from Mali at the line. He hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Well, here we go again. This week's NBA Saturday primetime game presented by Verizon Wireless on ABC. Durant and the Warriors in Oklahoma City will take on Russell Westbrook and the Thunder. You won't want to miss what kind of reception KD gets back in Oak City. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown presented by Straight Talk Wireless at 8 Eastern.
Talking to Coach Huggins before the game, he reminded us that he was head coach at K-State when he played against KD and the Texas Longhorns that year, and I believe they beat him in Austin, Texas.
Huggins one season as the K-State head coach, the 06-07 season, won 23 games, went to the NIT. His 1 year, and then his alma mater, West Virginia, called, which wasn't in the Big 12 at that time. And suddenly, a few years later, he's back in the Big 12 when they made the shift out of the Big East.
There's no reason why you cannot love Bob Huggins. I asked him yesterday, where did the nickname Huggy Bear come from? And he looked at me, he's like, I have no idea.
They're in their 5th season now in the Big 12. And West Virginia last year was ranked as high as number 6. This year they've been ranked as high as number 7. That's happened 3 times, including last week. They're 13th this week as the front end hit by Barry Brown. That ends a scoring drought of close to 5 minutes for Kansas State.
And all good looks. Bruce Weber knows that he doesn't have the best one-on-one create your own offense basketball team. They really rely upon the assist. You know, Mark, these guys have 62% of their possessions made baskets or off the assist. And they have been moving the ball wonderfully in the first half. They're not shooting well.
Well, Bunke goes out. Ryan Patrick comes in for K-State. He has not played in any of the last 8 conference games. He did play 6 minutes in the SEC Big 12 Challenge at Tennessee, but he only played 2 games and 4 total minutes of conference action before getting in here.
You bring a purple uniform, Mark? You might be up next.
The rotation's getting longer for Bruce Weber today as a result of DJ Johnson.
Coaches tell me Brian Patrick can really shoot the basketball, but it's a little different in practice than here in Morgantown.
Offensive rebound, Daxter Miles, who didn't play at Oklahoma the other night due to an ankle injury, gets called for a push and rebound. So that's how Daxter's won't come back to the floor with a foul, his first.
One of the things that Kansas State does really well as a team, and Bruce Weber really emphasizes, is team blockouts. Obviously, Coach Huggins doesn't play.
How about that expression?
With that call.
Really? Well, 1-1 again for Barry Brown. 64% foul shooter on the year coming in, and he's 2 of 4 from the line today. K-State as a team 3 of 5, and now make it 3 of 6.
Those come back to haunt you. Every game in the Big 12 seems like it's a last possession game, especially for these two teams. And giving away the charity stripe opportunities will come back.
Here's Ahmad trying to shoot over Maurice and one.
Well, that time, Mark, it was just really under control basketball. Issa Ahmad realized that he is stronger than Maurice underneath, so he didn't force the issue. Nice use of the basketball dribble, nice use of the up fake, and then going strong.
It's the 7th different West Virginia player to score here in the first half. Getting good production off the bench. Ahmad, one of the starters. His first field goal, and you see the impressive numbers, the career high against Kansas. He's done well against the ranked teams. He'd like to play well against an unranked K-State team here today.
Well, Bruce Weber trying to get away with keeping Dean Wade on the bench until the next TV timeout. And, you know, again, Maurice not used to playing at this speed, didn't have his feet ready to catch the basketball, and here comes Dean Wade.
Our 4th K-State turnover. I think Dean Wade's going to have to come to the realization that he's going to need to stay out of foul trouble and play more than the 25 or so minutes that he averages per game.
He's covering some big men down there, so staying out of foul trouble is easier said than done against West Virginia.
And Owondo fouls Carter. Well, step aside with under 8 minutes to play in the first half.
Men's basketball coaching profession. Assistant coach in 1981 for Virginia. Do you know who he coached for? Men's high school basketball. Back at his alma mater at Bishop Kennewick, the head coach, Phil Martelli. How about that? 1985.
Philly connection.
Gino goes on to UConn. 1985. Phil Martelli goes to be an assistant coach where he is now, St. Joseph's.
Javon Carter sinks the free throws. Well, it's been 6 minutes since the last K-State field goal. That was by Owondo at the 13:51 mark and put K-State up a game-high 8 points. But since then, a 14-1 run for the Mountaineers.
Well, Corey Urban not used to taking the ball out of bounds against his press. You can see that he's rattled. He had 2 guys going long against that press, wide open over the top, which is exactly how Kansas State beat these guys versus West Virginia back in Manhattan in January.
Each team now with 5 turnovers here in the first half. Again, no DJ Johnson for Kansas State. Sprained his left ankle in the game against Kansas on Monday. Tried to give it a go with the pregame today, but he's on the bench.
Bruce Weber back to that 2-3 zone. The mismatches with this West Virginia team is everywhere. Ahmad, Macon, and Adrian.
Carter with the deep three.
Well, not a good job by Patrick. You've got to respect Javon Carter with the ability not only to knock down a three, but loves to take the big shot.
Well, Carter in the first meeting with K-State did have 14 points and 10 rebounds, but he was only 3 of 12 from the field.
Yeah, he's not as proficient from behind the arc as the freshman Beadle, Golden, and Lamont West, but nobody wants the ball more than Javon Carter.
5 to shoot. A 3 is a little long from Sneed, and fighting for the rebound, tied up by Carter.
We talked about it. A great pass coming out from Phillips. Just stepped right into it, wasting no time. And the next generation, the next guy to be the guy. Really like that effort by his partner, JC.
Kansas State has now missed their last 8 from the field. Carter couldn't kiss it in. It's volleyballed around, and Sneed a quick outlet for Brown. He's going to take it towards the rim, and is fouled by Issa Ahmad.
Well, great job by Brown taking it right, as you mentioned, to the front of the rim. But Ahmad has to make up his mind. Go up to block the shot a la James, LeBron James, or get back, move your feet, and jump up in the verticality.
Brown 2 of 5 from the line today. K-State as a team just 3 of 6. Make it 3 of 7. The rivalry week rolls on tonight. 14th ranked Florida State Seminoles in South Bend taking on the Irish at 6 Eastern. Big game for both those teams. Then we'll take you to McEwen Pavilion, which was the site of College Game Day. For #1 and unbeaten Gonzaga, they take on 20th ranked St. Mary's. The game streamed live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Another free throw miss.
Talking to Coach Huggins in West Virginia about their free throw woes, the common link, it's mental. I mean, you start missing foul shots. Look what happened to Barry Brown. He can shoot, folks. His team, Kansas State, shoots 70% from the line. Once you miss the first one, especially on the road, you get nervous.
Golden, some fancy dribbling. Couldn't quite get it to fall, and then Adrian. Now they're going to point to West that the foul is on Lamont West. Going to push. And we'll go to the other end, and K-State's going to have an opportunity to improve their 3 of 8 performance so far today from the line.
Adrian has been quiet so far. You know, usually lets the game come to him as he's done this afternoon, but one of the country's best offensive rebounders because his effort is relentless.
First trip to the line today for Dean Wade, shooting 2, and he does get that one to fall. He's a 67% foul shooter on the year. Wade has played 11 minutes, only 1 field goal attempt, 0 for 1. 3 rebounds, and that free throw was his first point.
And Wade's one of those guys, when you go to a Kansas State practice and watch him practice for 5 minutes, you look at him and say, well, there's an NBA player. I mean, 6'10", 36-inch vertical, can knock down the 3, 45% efficiency. Just needs more confidence.
Carter got by Sneed and just raced it right to the rim.
Neither Wandu or Wade wanted to pick up a foul, but Sneed has to stop the ball first. That's not necessarily the big guy's responsibility. You can't allow him to go straight line drive like that.
Stokes, Sneed, and Wandu, as well as Butke, who's on the bench, all have 2 fouls. Wow. For his first made field goal of the game, Wade does it with authority. That was impressive.
That's what I'm talking about. He does that in practice every day, Mark.
Carter commits the foul.
Well, you always want to be active in this Kansas State team. And Barry Brown, not making his shots, finds the man and throws it up anywhere by the rim, 36-inch vertical, and sends it down. What a finish.
Dean Wade, a 6'10", 230-pound sophomore out of a small town in Kansas, St. John.
And maybe that's one reason why he loves playing against Kansas. You know, the rivalry between Kansas State and Kansas. You know, the coaching staff was saying he gets all geeked up as much as Dean Wade can get geeked up for that game. Well, I think he ought to try getting geeked up for all games. He has unlimited ability, folks. Keep watching.
2 times against Kansas this year, including on Monday, 20 points. He had 13 points against West Virginia in the first meeting in January in Manhattan. By the way, that K-State field goal, they went over 8 minutes between made field goals, but are only down 4.
They've been good shots. Bruce Weber will not be upset about the way the offense is flowing. He does not like the fact they're not making shots, but they're good shots.
West stumping it down low. Bacon able to scoop it up off the deck and put it in. There's a one-do on the drive.
Well, the Magic Man got stuck out high having to cover the senior Wandu off the dribble. And first of all, he doesn't play many minutes. Second of all, I guarantee you, Mark Wesley, he doesn't cover many guys 25, 30 feet. Coach Huggins trying to get a rotation in with guys that want to play hard and give him supreme effort. He was put in a disadvantage.
6'10" freshman Machi Bender from Warsaw, Poland. Kanate is going to check in from Macon for West Virginia. Budke back in with 2 fouls playing for Kansas State.
You're getting tested today, partner. You need to know everybody on that sheet.
Well, it's not unusual for West Virginia. They'll play 11, 12 deep all the time. That is unusual for Kansas State. Trying to deal with the loss today of DJ Johnson.
Really tells you how important DJ is and the glue of the team.
And the one who got over late, and the bunny is missed down low by the Mountaineers. So a one-do takes it. He wants the slam, but Kanate with the block. Bolden scoop, and Budke crashes in. He has the rebound, but is trapped, but able to get rid of it to Stokes. A one-do, he's going to take a 3. That was called a 3. To me, it almost looked like his toes were on the line, but nonetheless counts as a 3. Brown going for the steal and trying to give his team a spark, and is able to knock it out of bounds off West Virginia.
Oh, I just sat down after Kanate's block. Oh my! And then Owandu, not to be outdone. What's he do? He comes down and in rhythm, in transition, knocks down a 3.
Kanate's 38th block of the season. He had 5 the other night in Norman.
Just a freshman, he is a force.
Bender trying to defend Wade, who tried to go up and under, spins one off the rim. Budke battling. West keeps his balance, then throws high up ahead for Tavon Myers. They slip under the 4-minute mark here at Morgantown. The ball and a 2-point lead for West Virginia. Myers off the back rim. Stokes weaving through traffic. Blind pass. Here comes Patrick. And Brian Patrick, the true freshman from Fort Lauderdale, for his first bucket of the day for the Wildcats. And we're tied at 27.
Credit sophomore guard Miles Stokes. He went right to the middle of the court, kept the pressure with the dribble, and Patrick filling the lane. I mean, hey, he defends everybody like Xavier Sneed all day long in practice. Now he gets a chance to finish.
We come to a timeout. Well, Wesley Owandu. DJ Johnson out, called upon more. He was blocked here by Kanate, but he hits a key 3. Now let's send it to the studio. And Ed Van Burke with us all tied up here in Morgantown.
Is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2017 John R. Wooden Player of the Year.
Well, neither team lighting it up from the floor. West Virginia 40%, K-State at 35%, but Nate Adrian and West Virginia tied up with K-State with 3:16 to play in the first half from Morgantown. Kansas State playing without DJ Johnson.
The guys in the studio are right on top of it. Kansas State controlling the tempo by attacking this pressure and playing more zone on the defensive end, which is confusing West Virginia.
Stokes taking it strong. Unable to finish, though. Miles lines up a 3. And rebound for Dean Wade is his 5th. He has 4 points 5 rebounds in his 14 minutes. Brian Patrick, his second field goal of the game. This one a 3, gives K-State the lead.
Well, the K-State coaching staff said he could knock it down, and he's the one that made that transition layup, if you remember, before we went to break, and that makes you feel confident as a shooter. Great job.
It's been a game of runs. West Virginia went on a 14-1 run. Now it's a K-State 9-0 run.
Reminds me of the great Bill Russell and his comment, you want the first, the last, and the longest run.
That ends the 9-0 run for K-State with the lay-in by Tariq Phillip, who missed his first 4 shots of the game today.
You're looking out here, Nathan Adrian can't wait to come up and trap, but Barry Brown's doing a good job staying away.
Fouled underneath is Brown. Let's take a look. The NCAA tournament seeds released today. The 1 seeds include a couple of Big 12 teams, Kansas and Baylor. No surprise there. Look at the 2 seeds. West Virginia with a 4 seed, and all that, I believe, lines up with what we've been seeing from Joe Lunardi's bracketology for a while.
What do you think, partner? I'd like the seeds coming out weeks in advance.
To learn that. I guess the college football playoff kind of started that trend, giving folks a peek.
Well, some of the coaches like it because they assume there'll be more transparency. So you don't get guys like Seth Greenberg screaming at Virginia Tech when he never got in and was surprised. Coach Greenberg, you wouldn't be surprised if you played in 2017. But another interesting point is the mid-majors this year, they're not piling up. There are not a lot of guys that are going to be the at-large bid. It's going to win your tournament to get in, or the major conference teams will probably fill out the brackets.
Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. 3-point lead for K-State. A bucket the last time down the floor for Phillips. We got a 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Mountaineers. Phillips, the 10th different Mountaineer to score in this first half.
And this guy, Nathan Adrian, only has 2 points. I mean, the ball has to touch his hands on the offensive end.
Carter was well defended. 6 to shoot. Here is Adrian. Spins towards the bucket. Around and out. Kanate had it knocked out of his hands. Regathers. Tries to pass to Adrian. Got it and 1. Got to find Nathan Adrian, don't they?
I should have thought of that. I mean, this guy just does so many things well for Coach Huggins. Touching the ball allows him to not only make a good shot the first time, but presents himself really well to Kanate, and then goes up for the and 1.
Adrian now 2 of 4 from the field. Kanate gets a nice hand as he comes off the floor.
Nate Adrian, shooting 1.
The development of Nathan Adrian, the Morgantown native, has been spectacular. And a guy that Bob Huggins says, hey, I wouldn't take him off the floor. I didn't have to. I mean, him and Javon Carter are the 2 that I have to have on the floor.
He was a great shooter in high school. And then he had a wrist injury where he had to have surgery. So the middle part of his career, sophomore, junior year, he didn't shoot as well. You know, one thing he does really well, and his disappointment with this foul, is move his feet. That's what Hugg says he does the best of anybody on his team.
Adrian right in front of us puts his arms out like, hey, what else can I do there? Out of Morgantown High School. He has a sister right now that's playing on the girls basketball team at Morgantown High School, but right now she's dealing with about a mononucleosis. Spell that, by the way. I hope she's doing better.
Oh, you promised no more tests. I wonder who has longer hair, the brother or the sister?
Well, we've had 26 combined fouls called here in the first half. That has not gone unnoticed as this crowd rains down some boos. First free throw up and in for Cam Stokes.
Well, usually it's West Virginia that gets charged with the ugly basketball complaint. But West Virginia had 30 fouls in Manhattan the first time these 2 teams got together.
Well, only 2 players have fouled out in a game for West Virginia this year. That's Brandon Watkins and Elijah Bacon. They both fouled out in the game at Manhattan. Other than that, Bob Huggins, every other game, has not had a player foul out.
And the big part of that was DJ Johnson. He just attacked them repetitively in the paint and single-handedly got the whole front court in foul trouble. I mean, when you have a guy the size of DJ Johnson, you want to get him the ball make sure he's involved in offensive rebounding. But you can see how big he is. I mean, you can barely get the shoulders on the screen, Mark Neely. Well, Hogs has 3 guys like that. And, you know, that is a miss. That is a huge vacancy. But Kansas State doing more than holding their own right now in the first half.
Carter swishes the first free throw. West Virginia missed their first 2 from the line.
And for Kansas State, Kamal Stokes.
And now they've hit 7 in a row. Tied at 34, 1:17 to go first half.
They haven't been in the full court press in a while, Mark. We haven't even mentioned it. You have to knock down shots, of course, to get into that press.
A token look there as it's brought into the front court by Brown. Our 5th tie here in half number 1 for Morgantown.
It's just a different animal when Nathan Adrian is on the bench. Lamont West will learn in time how to handle the press, but Adrian does it on his own.
Brown looked like he was going to go up with a shot and then decided against it, threw it to the corner, and there was nobody there, and it's the 6th K-State turnover. And Brown says, yeah, that bad's on me.
Confidence is a terrible thing for a shooter. Brown is struggling with it in the first half. Not Brian Patrick's fault. When the guy goes up to shoot, when you think he's going to shoot, sprint in for those offensive rebounds.
Brown 0 for 3 from the field. But is 6 of 11 from the line. His point production has been down the last few games, but that's because he's had to guard Frank Mason and also Manu LeCompte for Baylor the last couple of games, and did well defending those 2.
Did great. Big 12's got a few point guards, Mark Neely.
You think? Pretty special. Wade with a rebound. And a chance to hold it for the final shot for K-State.
Bruce Weber might have his jacket off, but he has to be ecstatic. Tie game at Morgantown. Chance to take the lead. Last second shot.
Brown. Butke. Short. West. As time expires. Wait. They're about to call a foul, but say time expired, so that is the end of the first half. So K-State and West Virginia tied at 34 at the break. Coming up next, the Alfa Romeo halftime studio report after these messages. From WVU Coliseum in Morgantown, West Virginia, just about ready for the start of the second half. The 34 all tie, one of our 5 ties we had in the first half. Glad to have you with us on this Saturday from Morgantown, along with Mark Plansky. I'm Mark Neely. It's intriguing to see how Kansas State is reacting to the loss of DJ Johnson, not playing due to the left ankle sprain. Take a look at this. Brian Patrick played 6 minutes. He had 4 total minutes in conference play coming into this game. Butke played 10. Isaiah Maurice played 4. How's Bruce Weber going to string this thing out?
Duct tape and dental floss. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to keep this game tied up at halftime. But West Virginia is always lurking.
Well, and for West Virginia, Javon Carter kind of helped stabilize things for them after a bit of a sluggish start.
Well, he is the leader for West Virginia, knocking down that 3 in rhythm, and you have to stop him. He is attacking at all times. And for the other guys, for the Cats, Wesley the one who comes in, Incarnate says no, no, no. So very smart being a senior. He says, I think I'm going to pull up here. It's a lot safer, and knocks down the transition 3.
Let's take a peek at our first half stats brought to you by GoDaddy. Neither team shot lights out. K-State did hit 4 of 12 threes. You see the turnovers. Only 3 of the 6 K-State turnovers came as a direct result of the West Virginia press.
Yeah, second chance points. You know, it's kind of deceptive there because Kansas State shooting 33% from the floor, 34 from behind the arc. They just need to make some shots. You know, because they're playing a great game on offense. They just have not been able to convert.
Well, DJ Johnson has averaged 30 minutes in conference play on the year, 12.6 rebounds coming in, and K-State trying to make up for some of that production.
Well, again, Dean Wade has to command the ball in the second half. It's his 20 minutes.
Into the corner. Here's a 3 from Sneed, and that's his spot. He loves that left baseline, and the freshman Sneed now with 8 total points.
Well, great ball movement, and Dean Wade was the one that got the ball in the middle and found Sneed in the corner, who is as good as anybody on this Wildcat team, catch and shoot.
Ball gets loose, and it's scooped up by Barry Brown. Passes behind Snead, and Brown is saying it was deflected by a West Virginia hand. The officials saying no.
A lot of ways to break the trap. You never want to go backwards, but as I said, into Dean Wade, and look at Xavier, just in rhythm, nice follow through on balance, and the bench knows my man can knock him down. Let's get going.
Bruce Weber not happy that West Virginia's been given possession here. He, like Brown, was convinced that West Virginia touched that ball last. That's an Ahmad two-pointer from Issa Ahmad, who now has 5 points.
Just a guess, Bob Huggins might have pulled the sophomore aside and asked him if he was planning on showing up this afternoon.
8 first half minutes for Ahmad. 8 minutes. He was just 1 of 2 from the field in the first half. Owundu trapped. Owundu leading K-State with 10 points. Finds Snead. We're going to get a technical against Bob Huggins, I believe. Where did this come from?
I came from the referee who was the furthest away. He was right in front of us at the hash across the court from Bob Huggins.
Technical foul has been whistled against the
Well,
West
like
Virginia
West
bench.
Virginia, it's a cumulative effect when Coach Huggins works the referees on the sidelines. His argument is when they press and double team Mark Neely, that the ball handler often travels.
Well, I was paying attention to the ball here in the K-State front court. But apparently something from the West Virginia bench is what draws the technical.
Well, he sends tapes down to the referees about shuffling your feet when you're in a trap. You know, it's hard to tell, you know, in that particular replay, but I'm not sure what led up to that technical, but that's a little out of control, if you ask me, in the first 1 minute of the second half.
Wade short with a 3. Carter on the run. Will flip it back to Phillip. Tell you what, the hearing must be outstanding. And that official call.
Tough to do in the Coliseum with 14,000 screaming fans.
Here's Owundu.
Oh, you got to shoot that.
Brown knocked and fouled. Our officiating crew today, James Breeding's the lead official. Don Daly, Kirby Sitton. Don Daly who made the call.
Well, no doubt about that one. The freshman Lamont West just not moving his feet. That's unacceptable if you're playing defense for Bob Huggins.
Adrian going to come back in for West. Just about 2 minutes in. And half number 2. And a foul. Wade was able to go to the backcourt to get the inbounds pass, but Macon had to reach around Wade, picks up the foul.
West Virginia and Bob Huggins prides themselves on the 50-50 balls. They play an aggressive defense, and that was a perfect example. Macon trying to get the extra possession, reaching around Dean Wade. Boy, that looks like a lot of leather. Fell on him afterwards, but a lot of leather at the time of contact.
Second foul on Macon. He's out. Kanade in for West Virginia, who's part of the trap attempt with a pass off Stokes, stolen by Adrian. Carter, shovel, jam, There's one of the few times today, Ski, as we see K-State turn it over again, that we saw a West Virginia bucket directly after a K-State turnover.
You beat me to it. The pick six, the live ball turnovers, one of the very first. And Ahmad running it. I mean, top 50 high school recruit showing why.
And Kanate and the crowd at the Coliseum has gone electric here as West Virginia has come back to take the lead.
This is more like it. It was very quiet in the first 20 minutes here in Morgantown.
Brown passed up the 3. Now he decides to shoot it, and it's well short. Rebounded off the floor by Ahmad. Phillip will take it down the middle of the floor, run into Owundu, shovel. No. Kanade. Yes. Timeout, Kansas State.
Timeout, Kansas State.
Huggins approves of the effort from his freshman Kanade, and it's West Virginia by 3. 53 seconds for West Virginia has taken them from down 3 to up 3, and a big part of that due to freshman Sagaba Kanate.
Partner, when you play hard, good things happen. When you're 6'9", 250 pounds and play hard, really good things happen. Kanate had a tough practice yesterday. Up and down with the emotional string, but as well as anybody in the country, Bob Huggins pulls him aside and reinflates him at the end of practice and says, hey, big man, big fella, I need you tomorrow. Let's go.
Yeah, it was tough love in practice yesterday from Coach Huggins, but that's par for the course. He told us he was really happy with his team's effort in Norman. He was not happy with their effort in the practice that you and I were at yesterday.
No, that was old school practice. I felt like I was back playing for Coach Massimino. It was everything but throw Eddie Pinckney out of the practice.
Trying to call that against Sneed away from the ball. And that's the third on Sneed. Sneed trying to get an explanation. Ahmad over the top to Adrian.
So Ahmad's in the game. He ran. He got a couple of baskets. Adrian always needs to get touches. Issa recognizes that. Now they're in rhythm.
7 points, 5 boards for Nathan Adrian. West Virginia led by as many as 8 in the first half, and Budke gets whacked across the head by Issa Ahmad. Just over 4 minutes gone in the second half. It's West Virginia by 5.
There's a timeout on the court.
Let's take a look at today's Wendy's Wooden Watch and Ski. It is the year of the guard.
Well, every MVP of your team wants the ball in the biggest moments. How about Lonzo Ball last night? Or 2 nights ago, rather, when he knocked down the 3 to take out Oregon. Josh Hart has been doing it all year long for Jay Wright's Wildcats. And Frank Mason against this Kansas State team on Monday had a mediocre game until the last 5 minutes. And then he stretched out the victory. Malik Monk, I don't know, 47 against Carolina. How's that, partner?
Wendy's Wooden Watch. K-State just 1 of 3 from the field to start the second half. West Virginia, though, has hit 5 of their first 7 from the floor.
And I think they've all been in the paint.
And driving Kamau Stokes fouled. Slow getting up.
Team foul number 5.
And if you're just joining us, DJ Johnson today for Kansas State. Sprained his left ankle in the game against Kansas on Monday, and West Virginia fans are concerned about right now is that's the 3rd foul on Nathan Adrian, and it comes just over 4 minutes into the half.
Well, we touched on it in the first half, Mark. The game of runs that West Virginia's West Virginia relies on for their victories is what Bruce Weber has to do on the other side and just take a deep breath and say, okay, I'm going to attack the rim. No more easy shots, no more excited ball movement that leads to turnovers. Take it to the rim. Let's get the tempo back to the successful, slower tempo that they achieved in the first half.
Adrian checks out. Miles comes in. Looked like Beetle Bolden was coming on. He came onto the floor, and then he went back to the bench. Looked like he was going to check in. Bolden gave them a spark in the first half. 6 minutes, he scored 5 points. 1 of 2 from the line for Stokes. West Virginia by 4.
Well, both teams matched up well now, playing small ball with Wade and Konate playing the 5 position.
Phillip tried to lead a bounce pass to Miles along the baseline, and Phillip saying, why'd you stop?
Well, you mentioned Dexter didn't play the last game. There was a little miscommunication. Phillip usually really solid with the basketball.
Into Wade, who decides with West defending him, he can take it up the floor and into the front court himself. Trying to hand it off to Stokes, and an offensive foul. I'm going to be honest with you, Ski. There have been a few calls. I'm not sure where they come from today. That seemed to be another one.
I agree with you, partner. And again, Bruce Weber now pleading his case. And Coach Huggins a master all afternoon.
You know, maybe there was an elbow from Stokes. Stokes picks up his 3rd foul.
You can usually get away if you keep the chicken wing in tight, but once you extend that arm, referees are trained to make the call.
He'll have thought about that long 3 and then
Kansas State
push
on number 25
on a one-do.
His 3rd.
Well, that's 3 on a one-do now, so that's a concern for K-State, especially on a day when they do not have DJ Johnson.
And Owandu has to stay on the court. Most versatile player for Bruce Weber's Kansas State Wildcats. If he goes to the bench, they're going to be out of sync.
Owandu, Stokes, and Snead for K-State all with 3 fouls. Dangerous pass underneath. Miles came up with it and is fouled and will shoot 2.
The second time that Phillip and Miles have been a little out of sync, and Tariq comes down and says, I should have shot that. And yes, he should have, because one of the outstanding things that West Virginia does on the offensive end, Mark, is offensive rebound. And against the small lineup of Kansas State, shoot and go get it works just as well as a tight interior pass attempt.
Corby Urban picked up the foul. That's his 3rd, so that's 4 Wildcats now with 3 fouls. This is the first free throw. Good for Daxter Miles, who's not had a great year at the line. 59% coming in. We watched him after practice yesterday, stayed late, shot extra free throws. The form looked good. He was draining them in the practice, and now he drains 2 here.
Well, you mentioned James Beetle Bolden almost got in the game. It's amazing what happens when you have an injury and the guy who's backing you up lights it up for 17 and a career high. Hey, my foot feels fine, Coach Huggins. Let's go.
You see the foul trouble for Kansas State. Bruce Weber has sent Brian Patrick to the scorer's table to check in at the next step ball. Nice little fake by Wade. Gives it up. Butke in a crowd, and a foul called underneath on Konate, saying he got him on the shoulder.
Very descriptive foul call there, but that's exactly what I'm talking about, Mark. Dean Wade has to take one dribble, go up with 2 hands, and throw it down. Why is he trying to pass to Butke, who plays 5 minutes a game?
Butke at the line and off with the first free throw. It's just the 8th free throw attempt he's had this year.
Coach is saying, the ball don't lie, partner. See, take a look at the screen. He missed a foul shot. No way was that a foul.
So Konate to the bench with 2, and Butke missed both free throws. West defended by Wade.
Good ball movement. West Virginia's at its best on offense when the ball moves side to side.
Here's Phillip. Driving and foul.
32.
That's on Wade.
The personal, his 1st. Team foul number 5.
That's the first on Wade today.
Well, the senior from Brooklyn, New York, loves to take a step back into playground basketball and take it to the rim. Does it as well as anybody on the Mountaineer team. Excellent job drawing the foul and getting to the foul line.
It's the first free throw. You mentioned Wade. He's 1 of 4 from the field. He does have 6 rebounds, so trying to compensate for the loss of Johnson on the glass. But I think you and me would both like to see him shoot more in this game.
And the coaches, they are pleading for him to shoot. His own teammates are asking him to shoot. Look, I can guarantee you this, Mark Neely. If anybody told me to shoot more in a basketball game, I guarantee I would shoot more in a basketball game.
They did not need to tell you twice.
No, I only shot it when I had it.
Kansas State had an 8-minute drought without a field goal in the first half. They've gone about 5 here. Run ahead by Brown. He has Patrick ahead of the field, but now will curl it to the wing.
To not go backwards against West Virginia.
Ooh. Little bump. He went tumbling right near midcourt. That is on Phillip, and that one there was enough contact, I believe, to knock him off his feet.
I think there was contact, Mark, but he stumbled. To go backwards against this press. See, now before we saw the push-off.
Yeah.
You know, so that should not have been a call. Not only did he push off there, you extend that arm right there, that's a foul. But because he extended it, Brown lost his balance and fell down.
Yeah, I see your side on that one now. Yep. And I understand why the crowd's not happy, nor is Coach Huggins. It's going to put Brown at the line. He's been the most frequent visitor to the line today for K-State, 6 of 11. Brown, though, 0 of 4 from the field, so he does not have a field goal. And he hits the front end of the 1-and-1. So K-State in the bonus at the 14:07 mark here in the second half. They went into the bonus at the 9:06 mark of the first half.
Wow.
We've had a lot of fouls called. That's what I'm getting at.
Football's over. Hey, partner? Is that what you're saying?
Brown hits both. Pulls Kansas State back within 6.
You know, one thing that Bruce Weber wants is a slower tempo. Fouls will do that better than almost anything. Get you to the foul line.
Phillip driving on Wade. Second attempt. No. Bounced around. It comes out. Here's Carter saving it. Throws it back towards Miles, but Brown intercepts. Throwing it ahead.
Wow.
Stokes, he lost it. And it's taken away by West. Might have been a travel, but it's no call and a 3. Carter just a little long. West, second opportunity. A lot going on that sequence.
That was like a ping pong ball. Back and forth.
West Virginia's just equaled their largest lead again of 8. Wade spinning, dumped it off to Butke, who can't hit the shot. Wade. And now Butke cleans up and scores.
You look at Butke and Wade. If I'm Butke, I just grab Wade, put him in a headlock, and say, you pass me the ball one more time. I mean, just take it up strong.
Well, West Virginia has not been shy about driving it to the rim. Phillip gave a look for Carter. Now he'll drive baseline, and a little grab and a foul called on Stokes. And that will be his 4th. So Cam Stokes, point guard for K-State, the first player on either side to 4 personals, and he just walks right to the bench.
And that really hurts, Mark, because Kamal Stokes is the one guy that can handle the ball with confidence against this pressure. So now you're going to have multiple guys that are not used to handling the basketball in a double team situation. I get the feeling at 6 points, West Virginia is going to get energized going forward here.
After the 6th foul against K-State, the inbounds comes to Miles. Driving again, Phillip. Wade, a little contact. It may have been Sneed from the backside, and if that's on Sneed, that will be his 4th. Well, tonight, 11 Eastern, Sports Center at night with John Buccigross and John Anderson. They'll have complete post-game coverage, and Kevin Durant's return to Oklahoma City with Steve Levy live from the court. Plus, it's the debut of SC featured Brothers in Arms, the incredible story of former Army Ranger and current Steeler Alejandro Villanueva as he's reunited with his Afghan interpreter, and he helped flee Afghanistan. Sports Center at night. Tonight, 11 Eastern on ESPN. It's streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. Now Sneed on the bench for K-State with 4 fouls. Phillips splits the pair.
Freshman Lamont West on the point with Nathan Adrian on the bench of that West Virginia. See what he's learned about double teaming.
Brown into the front court. Bounce pass. Patrick lost it, and then it hit Miles, and he's inadvertently knocked it out of bounds. Staying with K-State. So you got a K-State team. No DJ Johnson. You got Stokes and Sneed with 4 fouls. So right now you have Patrick on the floor. Butke as well. As Bruce Weber is trying to keep Kansas State in this game. That, no question, is a foul on Miles. Crashing into Butke.
Well, we touched on Butke's high basketball IQ. All he did, very little thing, you young guys out there, go to the ball. When a pass is made to you, especially against pressure, go directly to the ball. Do not let the defender jump in front of that pass. Great job by Butke.
Miles' 3rd foul, so Miles joins Adrian and Ahmad with 3 fouls for West Virginia. 42 fouls called total in this game with 12:27 to go. Butke misses the front end. He was 0 of 3 from the line today.
No surprise, Bruce Weber smartly going to 2-3 zone, Mark, trying to preserve any remaining fouls they have. Change it up.
Screen from Bacon. West driving on Wade and scores.
Excellent defense. Straight arms up for Dean Wade. Lamont West with a great finish, just hanging a little longer and getting it done.
6 and 9 for Lamont West. 9-point lead for West Virginia, their largest, and they're going to get Wade again. Who didn't have any fouls for most of this game, but now picks up a second. Adrian's been on the bench with 3, but West Virginia up 9. Fonz Adnan, thanks very much. With 11:50 to play in Morgantown, West Virginia up 9. How much does Bruce Weber and the Wildcats have left in the holster here? Playing without DJ Johnson, playing in Morgantown, where #1 Baylor and #2 Kansas have lost this year. And here's unranked K-State dealing with foul issues without their low post player. Just trying to hang in this one. They've done a good job to this point.
Well, Kamal Stokes with foul trouble on the bench is as bad for Bruce Weber as DJ Johnson not playing. Those are his 2 leaders who need to touch the ball every possession. So Dean Wade, wake-up call. 11.5 minutes. It's your time to shine, or this could get out of control.
3 over that zone defense is missed, but Bacon there for the putback. And K-State can't afford those second chance points for West Virginia. A foul before the inbounds.
Foul is called on 0.
Myers.
His first, team foul number 9.
So we'll go to the other end after the 19th foul for 1-1 for Kansas State.
Well, as great as that rebound and putback by Macon was, Myers creating the foul allows the momentum to die down, allows Kansas State to go back with a chance to knock down 2 points in a row with the clock not moving, and more importantly, you're 5 guys on the court who have to be quickly getting exhausted, get about a minute break to catch their breath.
Brown 8 of 13 from the line today. He's 0 of 4 in shooting from the field, and he misses the front end. That's a handful of times now K-State has missed the front end of a 1-on-1.
Like a Shaquille O'Neal handful of times. A lot of missed foul shots.
How about Tavon Myers saying, yeah, I'll make up for that last play.
He's a confident senior. Tough love by Coach Huggins. He walked away saying, I got you, Coach. I got you.
Biggest hole for K-State thanks to this West Virginia run. Owundu is spinning in the lane, and Macon fouls him. And a technical just called on Elijah Macon. One was called on the West Virginia bench in the first half, and now Macon gets one, which is also a personal.
Partner, I have not done as many Big 12 games as you have over the last few years, but I don't recall a quicker trigger than the referee squad we are watching this afternoon.
Well, maybe he said something. I think Macon's argument is that it was a travel first, and then he realized he had a foul that was called against him, and then compounded it by apparently saying something or that was heard and turned into a technical.
Well, I totally would not accuse him of demonstrative behavior. I mean, just slapping the ball doesn't equate to slamming the ball down to the floor or running. Sometimes the referee just doesn't want to be embarrassed by these young players, but I didn't see any of that.
Stokes. Stokes comes in to shoot the free throws and hits both. And he gets Kansas State back within 11. Got 9 players in this game on both sides that have 3 or 4 fouls. So you got both sides dealing with some foul issues. Macon joins that club.
Well, you see Macon on the bench shaking his head. Hey, Elijah. Mark Neely and Mark Plansky is shaking our heads, too. I don't remember a refereeing job like this. Let them play. I mean, come on. This is noon Saturday. Flagship ESPN. Let's play some basketball.
Well, Owundu now shooting the free throws for the foul after Stokes shot the free throws for the technical. Wundu gets it back down to single digits with 10:47 to go.
And again, because the referees have put Kansas State on the line, there is no continuity to West Virginia. They had a couple of possessions at the beginning of this half, Mark, where it looked like they were going to take the roof off.
Carter from the corner. Stokes to Wade, tries to reverse, and a foul on Konate.
That's why Bruce Weber has to keep Kamau in the game. Same reason why you have to keep Javon Carter in the game if you're West Virginia. Biggest guy on the court. Passes, moves, waits, gets wide open on the corner three, which he loves, Mark Neely. And that's excellent basketball.
Wade misses the first of two. He had hit 2 free throws earlier. Wade 1 of 5 from the field. Does have 7 rebounds. One or two for the big man Wade. Stokes staying in for K-State with the 4 fouls.
You look up scoreboard, 10.5 minutes left, Mark. I mean, we have got plenty of time.
Myers working on Stokes, and a travel. Stokes, he heard that whistle and he gave a quick look to the official to make sure that wasn't number 5 on him, and he saw the call that he wanted, the walk. Now Stokes stepped on the sideline, unable to get around Myers.
Well, the good news is we've had 2 calls back-to-back without a technical foul, so we're improving. The trend is our friend. Maurice back in the game to match up with Watkins. A good job by Bruce Weber trying to get somebody in there with height.
Carter has had a couple of big shots in the last minute for West Virginia.
Better job by Javon Carter with the step back.
Steal. Carter. Timeout West Virginia. Well, Carter now up to 14 points, and he's hit a couple of threes today. Javon Carter leading the Mountaineers.
Well, he can knock it down. The step back through the legs is outstanding, and then he comes back and strips Wando for another possession.
It isn't always easy to know where you stand financially. Multiple accounts, investments, insurance. It can leave you wondering how it all fits together. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you see your whole picture, find out what you truly want, and then together we design a plan to go get it. There's a confidence that comes in knowing what financial security is and doing what it takes to achieve it. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently.
Under 10 minutes to play in Morgantown, 62-49 West Virginia. When we are finished here, we'll send you to Lubbock. Rich Hollenberg and Miles Simon for Kansas and Texas Tech for more Big 12 action to follow it. Boy, Adrian just gave a hard push to Phillip because he was not apparently in the right place for the stack for the inbounds.
Just a couple of kids from Brooklyn. That's nothing new. Come on, what are you worried about? Firing each other up.
Drawn right to Brown. Brown trying to get it to the rim. Brown thought he took too many steps, but the miss was brought out by the Brooklyn native Tavon Myers.
Great defensive transition defense by West Virginia. Brown had a half a step on the field.
Bucket for Watkins.
Here's where West Virginia excels when Nathan Adrian's in the game.
Brown trying to sprint past Phillip, but is tripped up. Well, Nathan Adrian's certainly one of the emotional leaders. He's a senior, and he's certainly got the attention of Tariq Phillip here, who was not lined. Whoa, actually, it started with the 2 Brooklyn guys, as you said, and then Adrian took it out on Tariq Phillip.
You talk about extension of a coach on the court. I mean, Nathan Adrian Should be, probably will be on the sidelines, leading his own team in the near future once he graduates here. That is why exactly Coach Huggins told us yesterday at practice, he's the one guy I cannot have off the court. But today, because he's been shuffling everyone in and out, he has not been on the court.
Well, apparently there was some blood coming out of the nose of Myers, which the officials recognized, so he went to the bench and he basically just grabbed some Kleenex and shoved it up each nostril.
Tavon Myers did a little piece about West Virginia basketball that I watched on the way here, and he is just an unbelievable personality. I mean, you could see him slapping Phillip on the butt, trying to get him going. You should see him in the second team, Mark. He plays on the yellow team, competes fearlessly against the starting lineup, and when the yellow team scores, he lets everyone know that the second team is kicking your butt.
Well, West Virginia is still up double digits, and here they are pushing each other, angry at one another, yet they are up double digits with 9 minutes to go.
You play 10, 11, 12 men, Mark. There's only so many minutes to go around. You're competing for playing time and stat sheet. You don't want to come out.
Brown, by the way, has 10 points today, all of them at the line. Wade able to alter that shot attempt, and Adrian thought he had the rebound, and before he could gather, it was called for a foul.
I used the term earlier, 50-50 ball. That looked like to me as a 50-50 ball. No one does it better in the college basketball, Nathan Adrian.
And that's foul number 4 on Adrian.
Part of the reason why he's not been on the court as much. Let's take a look. I mean, you tell me, Mark, that looks like effort. I mean, Stokes is down there underneath, but
that's basketball.
That's basketball. Not the way you played it. You
well,
would never,
no.
Unlike Kamau Stokes, you would never be found in the paint trying to get a defensive rebound. What, are you kidding me?
I knew where I wasn't wanted. Well, you got K-State going right back to the line. With still 8:43 to go, down 13. The officials are at the monitor, taking a look at that last play. And I assume they're looking at it to see who the foul should be on. It has gone on Adrian at this point, which again, if it sticks, would be his 4th.
Well, you called it earlier, partner. That's basketball. That's a 50-50 ball. Who wants it more?
Well, they're actually looking. They are calling the foul on Adrian. They're trying to see who got fouled. Was it Stokes? Was it Brown? And it was Stokes.
Who shoots 78% in conference play from the charity stripe. Good job by Bruce Weber identifying the correct player.
He has been their best free throw shooter from the line in conference play. K-State has not had a field goal in over 4 minutes. They've had 2 other 5-minute droughts from the field. And now Stokes, a usually steady free throw shooter, misses the first.
I think that's K-State's 11th missed free throw. You know, when Bruce Weber looks back on this, without DJ Johnson, with foul trouble across the board, 11 missed free throws. I mean, that is just going to be what it all boils down to.
K-State showing some pressure. Well, Tavon Myers and the Kleenex come up the floor.
We're not at desperation time, but we're close. 8 minutes, 12 points.
That was emphatic.
How about the look from Phillip? And nobody's happier than Myers on the baseline about that play. Outstanding.
Ahmad streaking along that left baseline with the thunder slam. Under 8.5 minutes left. K-State needs a field goal badly. Awundu sends it to the corner. The 3 is put up, and that's not there for Sneed, who's one of the K-State players playing with 4 personals. Myers, jump stop. Tip. Run out by Brown. He has numbers 3 on 2. Wants to get past Phillip. Is tripped up. Or just fell down. They're going to say West Virginia ball there. Our 50th called foul of this game. Under 8 minutes to go.
Cuffing it. But first it's Ahmad sending it down. What a pass. West Virginia getting ready to go.
Top 10 in men's basketball since the UConn women last lost.
I think they last lost at the beginning of this game. It seems so long ago.
We still have just under 8 minutes to go. And a turnover. Patrick looking for somewhere to go. Finds a Wundu who drives and scores.
Well, you said it. We still have 8 minutes to go. Pressing a little bit out of desperation, but he has the right team in here. He's got the 4 guards, and Dean Wade was a very agile big man to go full court against the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Carter's.
Wow.
Nice play by Javon Carter. Saw some daylight in the lane and took advantage.
Excellent job finding the seams and attacking the rim. Can't bring a high ball screen against West Virginia, but you can dunk it against West Virginia. Great location by Brown. Didn't make the easy pass, made the correct pass cross court for the dunk.
Somebody forgot about Sneed. He's now in double digits with 10 points. 12-point game. Myers pass deflected by Wade. Scooped up. Here comes a Wundu. Knocked out by Carter. To stay with Kansas State, though.
Carter was all over the place. Most active hands in college basketball. You know, first he just cups it nicely and uses the basket conversion with the left. And then as you go backwards versus this press, how did you find that guy 50 feet away? Xavier Sneed just flying in for the alley-oop dunk.
Brown finds Wade. He's got the advantage on Carter, but passes out. A 3 from Stokes. Sneed trying to go for the slam putback, but not there.
Boy, I thought he had that from our vantage point. Not a good job by West Virginia blocking out the last couple possessions either. Well, you talk about mismatches. Poor Barry Brown got stuck on Macon underneath and just had to wave the white flag.
6'3", 195 against 6'9", 240. And 6'9", 240 will be at the line, shooting 2.
Shooting the double bonus, Elijah Macon.
Great job by the upperclassman recognizing the mismatch and properly posting up with his arms in the air, so there was no way a foul could be called on him.
In K-State without DJ Johnson today, he had started 35 consecutive games. He had played in 51 consecutive. Unable to go this afternoon for Kansas State. That's been a huge loss for the Wildcats.
And this is exactly the type of game that DJ loves playing. You know, not today with all the referees, but the physicality of the front line of West Virginia. The ability to go back and forth and battle down low is exactly a coveted game for DJ.
K-State hoping he'll be good to go Wednesday night when they're back home against Iowa State at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. K-State with a hole here, down 14, but over 6 minutes still to go. Wundu trying to dribble through traffic. It bounces to Wade and Sneed. Wade elects to shoot the 3.
That was the right shot. Great job by Stokes getting into the lane, making the inside-out pass. Wade did not have his feet set. Have to be ready, have to be aggressive, look to shoot the basketball.
Wade 1 of 6 from the field. He's missed both of his 3-point attempts. Carter finds Konate. A little floater is short. Wade outlet for Stokes. He has Sneed. Nice bounce pass. Couldn't quite handle it, but it was then knocked away by Phillip. And they say it went off the leg of Sneed, and it's West Virginia ball.
You know, You called it, partner. Nice bounce pass, but it was the wrong pass. It should have been the alley-oop. Snead had his finger pointing the whole time, running the lane in front of us. He had just thrown down a nice alley-oop. Give an athlete like Xavier Snead the ability to run underneath the pass rather than let all the little guys get their hands on a bounce pass.
Phillips stripped, picked up by a one-do. Numbers for K-State, but a pass may have been deflected, but it's out of bounds, intended for Stokes. West Virginia ball, and K-State will use a timeout. They'll have one left.
Well, that's the effort that Coach Huggins wants to see. The turnover is one thing. When it's a live ball turnover, the next thing West Virginia has to do when press Virginia is run the ball down. Get back on defense, and that's 2 times now they've been able to deflect the ball in transition.
Well, points in the paint have been big for West Virginia. That's something that they allowed too many of against K-State in the meeting in January in Manhattan.
Well, a big part of it, as we have touched on, is DJ Johnson being on the bench with a bad ankle. But when you get the ball down low to this big front court of West Virginia, if you don't have the ability to finish like Ahmad, you have the ability to keep the ball alive, a la Moses Malone on the offensive rebounds.
No rim protector like DJ Johnson in the paint today for Kansas State, and it's had an effect.
I mean, look at the size of him. Bring your game. I mean, he would love to be out there competing with these big bodies.
Oh, and K-State beat West Virginia January 21st in Manhattan, won by 4, 79-75. But in that game, West Virginia had their worst game for turnovers, and they also allowed points to the paint off turnovers at their worst rate of the season. Let's send it to the studio quickly and check in with Adnan Burke.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. Just want to let you know Kansas and Texas Tech is currently underway over on ESPN News. Of course, it'll be here on ESPN once your game finishes up. Frank Mason III has been terrific for the Jayhawks. They've won 15 straight versus Texas Tech by an average of 22 points per game. It's underway. Back to you, Mark.
West Virginia into the front court with Carter.
So smart. The best way to break pressure, and they know it because that's what they do all day long in practice, is get to the middle of the court. Javon Carter, excellent, recognizing that.
Wide open look. Phillip instead decides to drive to the rim.
Why fly at him? I mean, all they're trying to do, we just touched on, is get to the paint, get to the rim. Come on out, whack out, get down on defensive, sit down, weight back, hand up. Don't fly at him. You give up the easy layup.
Stokes, wow, somehow got that to go off balance and off the glass.
Problem is, K-State's not a one-on-one basketball team. We touched on it. They need to move the ball and get baskets, made baskets off the assists. But, you know, looking at this deficit, everyone's trying to do it themselves, and that's what hurt them Monday against Kansas. Well, they were in that game until the last 5 minutes, and they got impatient.
Ahmad stuck. It's now double digits for Ahmad, 11 points in his 17 minutes. And they get Macon. Ahmad says, hey, I can reach double digits against a team that doesn't have a ranking by their name. 74-58 West Virginia.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball.
Adnan Burke back in our college basketball studios. Just a friendly reminder that Kansas and Texas Tech is underway over on ESPN News. The Jayhawks 32-4 all-time against Texas Tech. Josh Jackson, 3 double-doubles in his last 4 games. Currently Jayhawks down by a couple. It'll be on ESPN once this game's over. Mark, back to you.
Yeah, Dan, we've had 52 fouls called in this game. I think you're aware of that. That's why we still have just under 4 minutes to go. Here in Morgantown, we'll get you to Lubbock as soon as possible.
We didn't talk about Josh Jackson on the Wooden Watch, but How about how he has excelled as this season has gone on? I mean, he's a freak athlete. We all know that. But he's probably one of the best defenders, and his outside shot in the last 4 or 5 games has been outstanding.
West Virginia by 14. Get it in the hands of Carter. Ahmad, the lob, the stuff by Macon.
Well, he caught Butke back there in absolute no-man land. Issa Ahmad's already thrown down 2 thunderous dunks, and Elijah's like, hey, my turn, throwing the hand up for a great alley-oop.
Well, when we watched K-State at practice yesterday, DJ Johnson really didn't do much because of the ankle injury. When we talked to some of the staff, they said, hey, DJ's a warrior. We expect him to play. But Coach Weber, when he spoke with us, was a little more guarded. He said, you know, I'm hoping he can play. And as it turns out, he's had to really bandage things together.
And Coach Weber doesn't do the press a lot, and I guarantee you Butke's not in the back of that press a lot. And there's a great alley-oop from Ahmad to Macon, who seemed like he was there for 3 seconds waiting for that pass.
Bruce Weber certainly had an inclination last night that DJ may not go, but we didn't know officially until about 15 minutes before tip.
And that's only because DJ is one of those kids that when you think you want to count him out, he pulls a Willis Reed impersonation.
Slip under the 3-minute mark. 6 to shoot. A Carter three's off the back rim, and a Barry Brown rebound. Brown doesn't have a field goal today, 0 for 5, but he does have 10 points from the line. Butke crashes through, got too far underneath. Carter and 1.
No one does it better. You have to stop that better than anybody in college basketball, because he does that better than anybody. Look at him just keep Snead in his hip pocket. Once you get by someone, Mark Neely, and he's on your side, you just keep going to the rim until someone shows up.
Well, rivalry week rolls on tonight. 14th ranked Florida State in South Bend taking on the Irish at 6 Eastern. And then we'll take you to McEwen Pavilion, the site of game day. #1 Gonzaga and #20 St. Mary's. Dogs versus Gales, both games on ESPN, and also streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. Can St. Mary's knock off unbeaten Gonzaga? What do you think?
No. I like the Gonzaga team. I really do. The big man in the middle. 7'1", 300 pounds. He should be playing right here in Morgantown. Would fit in well.
Well, West Virginia up 19. K-State led by as many as 8 about midway through the first half and kept it glued together as long as they could. And Ahmad streaking to the basket that time, unable to handle the pass. And now Mason Schoen's going to come in. Pearson McAtee.
For Kansas State.
Cade Kinnaman. And Zach Winter. So if you came to Morgantown as a member of the Wildcats and brought a uniform, you're getting in the game today, minus DJ Johnson.
Well, it's exciting for these guys and their families. National TV. Maybe not the circumstances how they wanted to enter the play, but I guarantee your mom's happy watching them on the tube.
It's Cade Kinnaman, who was a high school teammate at St. John High School in Kansas of Dean Wade. And now Coach Huggins is going to do the same.
Turnabout is fair play. They're the 2 leaders, Nathan Adrian, who did not play as much this afternoon because of foul trouble, but Javon Carter, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Great game.
Checking in for West Virginia, James Long, Chase Harler, Logan Rout. Archie Bender, who's had some time today, back in there as well, and the 3 is good for Brian Patrick. West Virginia is going to win their 20th game of the season, and they will improve to 8-4 in conference play. They're alone in 3rd place in conference behind Kansas and Baylor. That's 3 for Beetle Bolden.
The safety is off always for Beetle Bolden. That's great.
Had the big game in Norman earlier in the week. having a good first half here. That's put up. A three is short by Zach Winter. Here comes Beadle. Stops on a dive, sends it to the corner. Here's James Long. Here's a three. Too long from Harler. The putback. Logan Rout. Logan Rout is 6 feet 11 inches tall. He's from Cameron, West Virginia. Played at Cameron High School, and he was the tallest high school quarterback in the nation when he was playing quarterback at Cameron High.
Hate to catch a pass from that big fella. I tell you what, though, Bruce Weber has done an awesome job just trying to keep this game as long as he has. But let's take a look at you, big guy. It's like a shotgun snap and putback right there. Well done.
At the line for the Mountaineers, Beadle Bolden, shooting two.
It's Bolden at the line. You know, we were asking Coach Huggins and some of the staff who are their best shooters. And one of the names that came up is number 13, James Long.
His name always comes up whenever you ask the coaching staff of West Virginia who works the hardest on their shot, who deserves to make shots. James Long is first. You know, the first couple of times you do a game, you're like, well, who's that? It's like, well, you should see this guy shoot. He just doesn't play. But he is in the gym with Carter, with Lamont West, knocking down hundreds of shots a day.
K-State, Patrick, another three, good. Back-to-back threes for the freshman from Fort Lauderdale. K-State, though, is going to drop to 16-9, 5-7 in conference. Going to send you to Rich Hollenberg and Miles Simon momentarily for number 3 Kansas and Texas Tech and Lubbock. Wasn't exactly pretty at all times, Ski, but West Virginia, 13th ranked in the land, are going to win it going away.
Win ugly, Mark Neely. That's what I always say. No pictures in the scorecard.
Seconds wind down. 85-66. West Virginia wins it over Kansas State. So for Mark Plansky and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks so much for joining us from the Coliseum in Morgantown. Now let's send you to Lubbock, Texas. 3rd-ranked Kansas and Texas Tech. Well, wait a minute. For some strange reason, the clock is stopped with 0.2 of a second left, which really is par for the course this afternoon.
It really is. You cannot make this up.
And the officials are going to make them play this last 0.2 of a second. You, Mark Plansky, have now seen everything.
Whew.
The handshakes were complete. Now it's in. Now it's over. Rich Hollenberg, Miles Simon in Lubbock coming up. Kansas, Texas Tech. Again, West Virginia wins it 85-66. It's deja vu all over again. For Mark Plansky, I'm Mark Neely. So long from Morgantown.